Now I will go into the other part of the business meeting. The agenda is before us. Are there any objections to the agenda? Hearing none. The invocation is that once we present a pledge of allegiance. Why don't we stand and do the pledge? I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. The next item on the agenda is the declaration of a quorum, and looking at our audience and attendance, I will declare that we have a quorum of at least 39 of our counties being represented. Okay. No questions? Next is the approval of the minutes of the November 15th business meeting. Is there a motion to approve the minutes?
So moved, Madam.
Moved by Mr. Miller, second by Mr. Porteous. Thank you. Any discussion, any questions? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Next item, I will take just a few moments to give you a report. And I'm going to start by sharing with you what I think has been an enormous privilege for me to serve as 2012 chair of VACo. And normally I would say it would be rewarding enough to have had the opportunity to be a member of VACo for 12 years, where I've had a great opportunity to meet a lot of people and grow and learn a lot about our Commonwealth and our counties and how we all serve and work together in public service. But this year as chair has increased my appreciation for the value that VACo means to our local government. I want to start by thanking the executive committee. I've had a great opportunity of working with a group of folks that I enjoy their friendship, their support, and the experience sharing our roles in public service. To the VACo staff, it's been a pleasure to get to know the VACo staff, as I say, a little bit better. I've seen them over the years, and this past year, I would say that I've grown tremendously in the respect and the gratitude of the work that they do for us. We have an enormous organization of small number of people that produce a significant accomplishments for our counties in the work that they do, and I want to commend them and say thank you. The past year, excuse me. The past year has been exciting and busy, from welcoming new supervisors at the 2012 County Supervisors Forum, learning a great deal as I joined Jim Campbell at the National Council of County Association Executives Conference, in which we had an opportunity to hear from our federal agencies on the work that they do firsthand and how it affects us at local government, preparing and responding to the governor's budget and challenges there, and the excitement of another legislative day. It was a pleasure also to host the spring meeting of the Board of Directors in Fairfax County. We not only accomplished a great deal of VACo business, I hope that you and those of you that joined us enjoyed the rest of the day and with our fellow board members. Throughout the year, the work of the Communications Committee and the work with Director of Communications, Gage Carter, provided a constant flow of information to our members as we work to ensure that the interests of local government was set front and center with the administration, with the General Assembly, and with our members and our citizens. As I look back over the year, I am reminded that VACo has come a long way since a committee of members from 5 counties came together to form this organization. And I would quote their missions as stated then: for the purpose of improving county government and promoting the general welfare of the people. The time then was the Great Depression, and those officials demonstrated wisdom to see the value in working together for shared community benefits. Since that beginning, VACo has worked together toward the goals in ways that are unimaginable 78 years ago. Today, VACo's services go far and beyond that simple mission. Counties large and small see improvements in their communities thanks to the work of VACo, whether it's taking advantage of the financial programs or building legal and technical assistance, risk management, or building relationships with local government partners. VACo brings extraordinary value to all of us as members. These benefits extend beyond the Commonwealth through VACo's affiliation with the National Association of Counties. Just as the founders saw the benefits in working together during the Great Depression, these economic times are right for us to reassess our role and better clarify how we remain strong as an organization so that we may continue to provide the best value of our membership. The work we do really deserves no less. Whether you are a new supervisor or whether you have years of experience, VACo wants to know that what we do and how we do it is to improve our county government and the general welfare of our people. Therefore, we ask that we hear from you. And working with a new president, I think there will be exciting times ahead as we ensure that our message goes out, that the services that VACo provides are truly investments in your own community. As I leave this responsibility as chair and move on to the next line of leadership you have here, I'm reminded of a quote from Mahatma Gandhi, which said, "The best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in service to others." As local elected officials, service of others is our comfort zone. And I will say that the best part for me as a member of VACo has been that I'm surrounded by public servants. Thank you all for what you do, and I also want to thank you for allowing me to serve as chair. Thank you. Thank you very much. Next, I think we'll go on to the next item on our agenda, and it is the financial report by Supervisor Penny Gross.
Thank you, President Hudgens. You have in your packet a financial report. As a membership-driven organization, the financial report should be very, very important to everyone who is a member. And I can tell you that your budget committee has met several times this year, as both in person and also by telephone. It has been a privilege to serve as the chairman of the budget committee and as your secretary-treasurer. We do have an audit every year, and I would like to introduce Ann Wall from Robinson Farmer Cox to give you a report.
Good morning. It's my pleasure to be here to very briefly just report to you on the audit of the consolidated financial statements of the Virginia Association of Counties. We call it consolidated because it includes the operations of the association and also the operations of the VACo subsidiary, VACo Services. VACo Services was incorporated to receive the non-dues revenues from the various entrepreneurial or business type ventures of the association and allow them to be appropriately taxed. And it also includes the operations of the 1207 East Main Street, the LLC that was set up to manage and operate the association's building. These three entities are keep separate books at the association, but they are all consolidated as a single entity in the financial statements that you have in front of you. I want you to know that the financial statements of the association mirror the financial statements that you do have in front of you. Any of the adjusting entries that are proposed at the end of the year are posted to the association's book. We did conduct our audit in accordance with generally accepted auditing standards, and that includes that we really kind of test on a random sample basis the supporting amounts and disclosures in the financial statements. And then based on this work, we issued an unqualified opinion on the association's financial statements. As part of the audit, we also, as we do with local government audits, review the internal controls that you have in place. We look at your internal policies and procedures and see if you're following those as you anticipated and as we anticipated, and that the internal controls are working effectively. We noted strong board involvement in the fiscal matters of the association, as well as the management being really involved, the executive director, in the day-to-day operations of the association. We did note one management item that we reported in a management letter related to the internal controls governing your credit card usage. We also followed up on the management letter from the prior year and noted corrective action in all of the areas that were noted in the prior year. The financial statements in your packets are 3-year financial statements, so they really allow you to look at where you were 3 years ago and kind of compare it to where you are at the end of June 30th, 2012. At the end of the year, the association's assets exceeded its liabilities by $3.2 million. And as you know, most of the association's assets are your cash and investments and the building in downtown Richmond. That really concludes my comments. And I would just like to take this opportunity to thank you for allowing Robinson Farmer Cox Associates to serve as the auditors for the association. We've had a long-standing professional relationship with the association and many of the members here, and it's our privilege to be here and be part of this conference. Thank you.
And do we have a motion to accept?
Madam Chairman, I would move acceptance of the financial report.
I will second it, Madam.
Moved by Ms. Gross and second by Mr. Miller. Any questions? Discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. The next item on the agenda is the General Counsel's report. Phyllis Arico.
Thank you, Madam Chair. It's been an active year with legal matters in a good way for the association. I've continued to work and focus on acting as a legal resource to our members through their elected officials, their appointed folks, and their legal counsel. I work directly with legal counsel of the counties and also as a member of the Local Government Attorneys Association of Virginia, and was a speaker speaking on behalf of VACo at the spring Local Government Attorneys Conference in Williamsburg, speaking on legislative matters. As in the past, we've gotten a number of requests for participation in cases that involve issues of interest to a wide number of localities. We've been asked to participate as amicus curiae or friend of the court in certain appeals. These cases have involved a wide variety of issues ranging from charitable donations to a number of Freedom of Information Act cases as well. And these cases have been filed in the United States Supreme Court, the Virginia Supreme Court, and the Fourth Circuit Court of Appeals. In addition, we have offered publications that offer legal support to our boards, including the Supervisor's Manual and the Board Meetings Procedure Book. This concludes my report, Madam Chair.
Thank you very much. Do we need a motion to accept the report?
So moved.
I don't think it's, okay. The next is the Executive Director's report. Mr. Campbell.
Madam President, thank you very much. And let me start off by saying we are about to end another very successful annual conference of the Virginia Association of Counties. And thanks to your good participation, I think it's been a great session here. Just for your information, this year we had about 900 participants in our conference this year. That's up from the last 2 years. We're not quite up to our top of about 1,000, but it's growing a little bit, and hopefully this is a sign that your association is important to you and you see the value of participating not only in the conference, but in our activities throughout the year. Unfortunately, because we had such a good turnout, not everybody could get into the hotel. We had about 100 on the waiting list to get into the hotel for Sunday night. We hope that we can work on arrangements to make that more user-friendly in the future, and look forward to your great participation. Carol Cameron did an outstanding job of recruiting exhibitors for your exhibit space. We were 100% sold. There were a couple vacancies from some exhibitors who at the last minute could not attend, but we actually had a waiting list for exhibitors to get into our exhibit hall. So once again, I think that speaks highly of your participation, your interest in the exhibitors and the sponsors of our association. I usually give you a little bit of an election results report after the elections last week. We had a great discussion earlier this morning from Jeff Shapiro and Dr. Tom Morris. But let me give you just a few statistics on local elections. They didn't seem to focus on that. We did actually have 5 counties who on this off year held elections for county supervisors, filling vacancies that had occurred throughout the year. And of course, Arlington, with their 5-member board, they have an election of at least one every year, just to keep things exciting. Two counties are still wrestling with the school board issue. They had referendums on whether or not to have an elected school board. It was passed favorably in Northampton County, but failed in Richland County. 4 counties, knowing that they still have economic revenue challenges, had referendums on meals tax. All 4 failed. So the people do not want to vote for their own taxes, apparently. So, and that's the pattern that we've had for years and years. And we will continue to pursue authority to allow you as county supervisors to make the decision on behalf of your counties, as opposed to putting everything into a referendum. You know, maybe one time we can catch up with the authority that towns as small as 50 or 60 people, the authority they have to exercise some taxing authority, and allow you to do the same thing. And finally, there were about a dozen or so bond referendums for various things such as schools, water systems, parks, recreations, libraries. Fortunately, all of the bond referendums did pass this year and there. So that's a brief report on the local elections. Let's take let me give you a quick report on the activities for the association during this past year, the accomplishments we have done. Your chairman, your president has already noted that we have provided a number of good education opportunities, including the new supervisors conference back in January, which we had over 150 supervisors participating in, helping to educate, followed by the Chairs Institute in February. We identified several specialty seminars and educational opportunities through the year that were highly successful. Some FOIA workshops, some environmental workshops, and we hope that we can continue to identify those topics that are meaningful to you, so we can provide that education throughout the year. This year we enhanced our communications in a number of ways. Communication committee that was appointed by the president was quite active in recognizing that in this new world and the new technology, getting our message across is important. Getting our message across not only to the legislators and our state officials, but also among our memberships as well. So we have had a number of opportunities to change our communication media and trying to get our message out. 2 new ones that were particularly of interest to you. You can now access on your smartphone through the VACo mobile application everything that we have on our webpage, right on your smartphone. Through the all you have to do is go to our webpage and download that application there. And also a new feature that we had started putting together with the YouTube capacity, the video networking, this type of thing, we have created a video magazine called VACo on the Go. Again, accessible through the website, and it gives you about an 8 or 10 minute review of what's been happening in VACo in the time. So we hope that these new communication efforts will enhance your participation in VACo throughout the day. On the advocacy side, we certainly successfully defeated legislation in the 2012 session that would limit government authority for your collection of the VACo tax and machinery and tools tax. We have fought this battle the last 4 or 5 years because we recognize that it is an important tool in your toolbox to identify revenues to help your county. Each year there's been an attack on it, and we successfully beat that back again in 2012. However, we anticipate it to come up again in 2013, so stay with us and stay working with us. We worked hard to highlight some problems associated with the devolution of transportation and the funding sources thereof. And so far, there has not been a clear program or proposal to allow the devolution of the road systems to the counties with appropriate revenues, and that has not happened yet, but we continue to be alert to those issues and make sure that they do not come with no revenues. We developed a greater working relationship with the Governor's Unfunded Mandates Commission, which has been 2 years in operation now. We do attend all of the meetings of that, and that successfully got a few of the mandates relieved off of us this year, certainly looking at more opportunities in 2013. And finally, we continue to work on relief from the local aid to the state issue. This year, about $50 million that we are paying back into the state coffers, and we find it fascinating how each month the state reports, gosh, we had a better than anticipated collection in revenues. Each month, the last 3 or 4 months, they bragged about collecting more revenues than they anticipated. Well, a lot of that revenue came from our pockets, and we would like to have the recognition or even the relief for not providing that additional support to the state coffers there. So we continue to work on that. Under the enterprise zones, enterprise programs, you know, VACo continues to try to identify opportunities to help you save money. We have a number of purchasing programs that we take advantage of. Most recently, the last couple of years, the Line of Duty Act was imposed upon localities by the state, tremendous cost to us, and we have successfully developed a program that would offer some relief and help you save money on providing the line of duty benefits that the state created some 2 decades ago. We are in the process and about ready to unveil a short-term investment program that will help you invest money, maybe gaining a little bit more than your 0.1%, 0.2% earnings that you're getting from the bank money markets. So be alert to this. In the next month or 6 weeks, we would plan to unveil the VACo VML Virginia Investment Pool, which will allow your treasurer to invest in some opportunities to earn at least a little bit more money than they're getting through your local investments and possibly the Virginia Local Government Investment Pool. And finally, we continue to develop more marketing agreements and opportunities to offer you and your employees opportunities to save money and help you run more efficiently. We hope that you're availing yourselves to all of the many programs that we have got out there, brought to you, and keep going from that perspective. I thank you for the opportunity to serve as your executive director. I look forward to having a number of years more in your service. And again, we encourage you to continue your participation. If you will recall in your package here that you got when you registered here, we have an evaluation form. This is a critical part of how we develop our programs, our conference program. Also, this year we tried for the first time to individually evaluate the speakers at the programs. We need these back. We need this input from you, so please provide it. We also have included the relative schedule for the activities throughout the rest of the year, giving you the dates that you need to start planning around. And in your participation, don't forget we have the local government day, legislative day coming up on January 31st. Plan now, Richmond, January 31st. Just the day before that, preceding that, is our annual rural caucus meeting and dinner to try to meet with the legislators from the rural areas. And also included on the January 31st date is the Chairman's Institute, Chairperson's Institute, which we encourage all chairs and vice chairs to participate in. Now, most importantly is your participation in the committee process, how we develop our programs. And we had a few ruffled feathers this year in some of the committees, not understanding why they were not part of the committee. Well, this committee interest form is critical. Every year I stand up here and say, if you serve on a committee, if you want to serve on a committee in the future, next year, for instance, you must turn one of these forms in to us. If we don't get a form, we don't know that you're interested. We're not going to automatically assign everybody that happened to be on the list this past year. You must turn in a form. I hope that's clear to just about everybody, because that's the way we determine. The executive committee will be meeting in early January to appoint the committees. If you have not heard from us by mid-January about your committee assignments, you might give us a call and find out why. But generally, anybody who has expressed an interest in serving on a committee gets to serve on a committee. So we encourage all of you to participate to make your organization function more effectively for you and get your voices from your counties heard. Again, thanks for the opportunity. I look forward to working with you as active participants in VACo in the future. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Campbell. The next item on the agenda is the committee reports, credentials report. Ms. Cadigan.
Madam Chairman, I am pleased to report that 94 counties have paid their dues and are eligible to vote this year. The Credentials Committee met and determined that 85 counties were properly credentialed to cast a total of 158 votes out of a possible 167 votes in today's meeting. On behalf of the Credentials Committee, which included Ms. Cassandra Stich from Buckingham County, did I say that right? And Mr. Roger Hayden from Patrick County, and we appreciate the opportunity to serve. So this is respectfully submitted by Maureen Cadigan, Prince William County.
Thank you. A motion by Ms. Cadigan. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Miller. All those in discussion, question? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
And opposed? Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Cadigan. The next is the report of a resolution committee by Mr. Moody.
Madam President, the Resolutions Committee met yesterday, and the chief objective of the Resolutions Committee was to approve and recommend legislative position statements that would be incorporated into the VACo's 2013 legislative program. The document dated October 12th was the draft preliminary document. These documents were distributed to all counties in September and was revisited for final consideration by all steering committees on Sunday. As a result, we have had some amendments, which is a smaller document dated November 12th. Some small amendments were added to the document. As chairman of the resolution committee, I move for adoption of the draft 2013 legislative program with the added amendments.
I will second the motion.
The motion has been made by Mr. Moody and seconded by Mr. Atkins. Are there any questions? And any discussion?
You got one.
Thank you very much.
You got one.
Excuse me, I do see him, and I was just going to make a note here. Thank you for coming forward, and we're going to move and provide any comments to a couple of minutes. Please to come forward and give me your comments.
Yes, thank you. I'm Randy Silber. I just had a small, very minor modification if possible. I'm a member of the Environmental and Agricultural Committee, and there's a modification that we'd like to make. This is on page 4 of the amendment document involving the renewable fuels standard federal position. Again, this really was an oversight that I think took place. There was discussion in our committee meeting, and staff. We've talked to staff, and staff agrees that this was an oversight and was omitted. All we're asking is that there be a time frame added to this. This renewable fuels standard, basically, what's being requested here is to suspend the renewable fuel standard due to the upward pressure of the price of corn. This is only because of the drought that occurred in the Midwest. So what we discussed and what we'd like to have added is a time period so that this is not indefinite, but it is to last for a period of 1 year. So what we're suggesting be added, and what we discussed in our committee meeting and what we thought was a part of this, is to add after the word suspend, so it would say the Environmental Protection Agency should immediately suspend for the calendar year 2013 the renewable fuel standards to relieve upward pressure of the price of corn and economic hardship. So we're adding 3 words in the year 2013.
Okay. That's a motion to amend the document with those 3 words. And is there a second to the motion? Second to the motion. And would you identify, give me your name again, I did not write
This
it.
is Randy Silber.
Silver.
Silber, Enrico Kemper.
Okay. And? Stewart. Okay. Is there discussion of the amended change? Hearing none. All those in favor of the amendment?
Aye.
And opposed? Okay. The document is amended with that change. Is there another question regarding the document? Hearing none, with the amendment accepted, I'd ask that we now move the motion to the amended document. All those in favor of adopting the legislative program as amended? Aye. And opposed? 1 as opposed. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Moody, for your work, and thank all of you for the work that's been done on this steering, through the steering committees and the resolution committee. Okay, the next item on my agenda. I should have papers. Okay, thanks. The next item is the report of the nominating committee. Thank you. Oh, I see it. Okay, now I'm on target. The nominating committee, Mr. Flora. There we go.
Madam President, the nominating committee met yesterday afternoon to develop a slate of officers to serve our association in 2013. We considered a number of excellent candidates during our deliberation. Madam President, we are pleased to present the following slate of officers to serve the association in 2013. President John D. Miller, Middlesex County. President-elect Harrison Moody, Dinwiddie County. First Vice President Pablo Cuevas, Rockingham County. Second Vice President Penelope Groves, Fairfax County. Secretary-Treasurer Donald L. Hart Jr., Accomack County. And of course, immediate past President Catherine M. Hudgens, Fairfax County. In addition, the regional caucuses met Sunday afternoon and elected directors to serve a 2-year term on VACo's Board of Directors. Those selected were Region 1, Judy S. Light, Surrey County. Region 3, Patricia S. O'Bannon, Henrico County. Region 5 has a vacancy. Region 6, J. Michael Hobart, Clark County. Region 7, Wayne A. Acors, Caroline County. Region 8, Jerry W. Highland, Fairfax County. Sharon S. Bulova, Fairfax County. J. Walter Tejada, Arlington County. And Susan K. York, Loudoun County. Region 10, Gary Tanner, Appomattox County. Region 11, Richard C. Floor, Roanoke County. Region 12, David Hutchinson, Carroll County. And past President Robert R. Atkins, Wise County. Madam President, this is the report of the nominating committee.
Thank you very much, Mr. Flora. That is the nominating committee as presented. Is there?
Madam
Madam
President, I believe there was an error in one of the names. It's Scott York from Loudoun County. And I think it was a simple typo.
Okay, we have it, Mr. Scott York of Region 8. Okay.
And Madam President, also my last name is Little, Lyttle. I don't know how to
Okay, we
spell
will
it.
ask that the record check, it be, reflect the corrections from the nominating committee. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, and I think we made sure it's Hutchins, not Hudgens on this one. Okay, thank you. All right, the motion has been made to accept the nominating committee report. It's, all those in favor?
Aye.
And opposed. And presented to the nominating committee is a slate of officers, and motion for the acceptance of the slate. Floor is open.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
I move acclamation of the slate as presented.
Moved by acclamation. Is there a second?
Second.
A second. Any questions? No questions. All those in favor of the slate of officers as presented?
Aye.
And those opposed? Thank you very much. With that action, we have now reached the point of our current newly elected president, and Mr. Miller, you are going to turn the gavel over to you. Okay. We have we can all come forward first. Know your seats.
Not present, yes.
We want each of all of the officers down below. Mr. down below, Mr. Miller.
Am I sworn at again?
Yes, sir. The director. And all the directors.
Make sure this doesn't hurt.
Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I do solemnly swear
I do solemnly swear
that I will support
that I will support
the Constitution and the laws of the United States,
the Constitution and the laws of the United States,
the Constitution and the laws of the Commonwealth of Virginia,
the Constitution and the laws of the Commonwealth of Virginia,
and the bylaws of the Virginia Association of Counties.
and the bylaws of the Virginia Association of Counties.
And that I will faithfully and impartially
And I will faithfully and impartially
discharge all duties incumbent upon me
discharge all duties incumbent upon me
as an officer or director
as an officer or director
of the Virginia Association of Counties
of the Virginia Association of Counties,
according to the best of my ability, so help me God.
according to the best of my ability, so help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you.